All right. And I'm in the process of typing this data in, so I just wanted to, wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. Gotta, how do I minimize that? That's a good start to the video. Okay, so here's our notes, which is that hole punched or not? Never mind. Right? This is the non-hole punched paper on Axkinen. Yes, Mr. Samuels. There are people in here, believe it or not. Okay, and then the other parts, by just typing in your values. Okay, and then 5 enter, 10.6 enter. This is in the stat edit screen from yesterday's movie, which we just discussed. I have 17 views, but I have 39 students. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. 16.5, 10.2, and then 2.8. First of all, look at the X's. Do the X's go up in equal intervals? Now let's just pay attention to your teacher for a second. No, but do they go up, right? Don't they go up? And it's kind of, this is how real data works. It's not perfect. It's not 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's intermittent little different things that we're checking here. So they don't necessarily go up equally. But look at the Y's. They go up and then what? They go up and then what? Down. And these are kind of equal intervals. They're close, but they're not equal. So is that linear? Do you think that's going to be a linear scenario? No. What kind of data goes like this? Goes up and then down. Parabola, quadratic. But now I'm going to show you something which is going to throw a monkey wrench into the whole thing. Okay? We are going to do a stat calculate, but hold on. Second quit. I deleted my memory. What am I going to do? This is proof that you watched the video. What am I going to do so I see a certain thing that I showed you yesterday? Second catalog. What did I do yesterday? This is a test. Diagnostic on. D, that's just a way to get through the alphabet real quick. The catalog is every single operation that exists on your calculator. I should talk this way because the very bad sound, very bad microphone on this. It's actually better than my last computer. Ooh, a compliment for the computer. That's rare. I don't like this thing. Anyway, and sorry, compliment followed by a shot. All right. I should be careful. AI is going to get us right eventually, so I should get on its good side. And then now we're going to do stat, calculate. We'll do a linreg. 4 or 8. I don't know why both of these exist. I'm not going to store it yet. Okay. Look at that. Oh, look at that R squared value. Is that a good R squared value? That means this is not really good as a line. All right. And then I'll show you when we do quadratic. But then I come to find, there's other things that we can do. And then this is the monkey wrench I'm throwing into the whole scenario. Let's do quadratic. 5. Enter, 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 enter. Calculate. 0.999994. That's pretty good, right? Notice there is no R value. Once you go beyond linear, it's an R squared value. Now listen, I think I said this in the video yesterday. That R squared value, that R thing, that was our last unit. What formula that came from? It's a statistical thing. And I'll tell you what it means. So I like this one a lot, but then I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in later. Let's calculate that again. What I forgot to do was quadratic reg. I forgot to store it. So real nice, alpha trace, store it in Y1. Or not as nice for older calculators, vars, yvars, function, Y1. Now these are not things I'm going to teach you on the day of a test. The idea is you do your homework and you've done this and you know how to find these things on your calculator. Where do I get that Y1 thing? And this is why I want to do it too. Look at how obnoxiously long the decimals are. When you go into Y1, they're obnoxiously long in the Y1 screen, or Y1 equals. If you had to write it down, 3 decimal places should be sufficient to give you good graph that actually. So if you don't know how to do the Y1 thing, I'm just going to say write it down and then type it in your Y1 screen. I'm not wasting time on it. There are expectations that you know what you're supposed to know. All right, and then here's one more thing I didn't do. Y equals, I want to turn my plots on. I want to see the dots crossed by the graph. But I'm not going to see that or not see it really well if I don't manipulate my window. Look at the x's, they go from 0, so I don't need -10, but I like going a little bit farther outside of the window. So -1, 2, 3.5, I think 10's fine. I'll see enough of the data there. Then look at the y's, it goes from 5 to 18. That's a range that you have, that you see right now, like of the data values. I don't want to be spot on that though, so I'll go 0, and I'll go like, I don't know, 25, just to be above 18, just to have space to see the picture. Now, I will tell you what the R squared value does, maybe after I show you like the last one. I think I'm going to do 4. What I'm going to have you do, though, in groups of 3, someone's going to take 2, someone's going to take 3, someone's going to take 4. Got it? All right, because I don't have to show all 4 of these. But then I'll do 4, and I'll talk about like the R squared value and what it means in context. Okay. All right, and then it says cubic or rational. I don't even know if I have. So I like this one, and okay, that's what the R squared value. No, I don't want to talk about that. Let's do a cubic though. Stat calculate. This is what's going to blow your mind. 6. Calculate. Oh, do you remember the quadratic? It was 0.999994. So what is the R squared value telling you? Who's better, quadratic or cubic? Actually, cubic. That's kind of weird. All right, it's because cubic does have part of it as a and then it like turns after that. But they put this here, and there was this weird thing in the pre-calc meetings that they were ignoring this R squared thing. I'm like, why? That comes from a statistical thing that tells me when something is better than something else. I don't know why they were ignoring that. Maybe it's because you're not supposed to know about that right now. You're just supposed to make conjectures. When it comes to the AP exam, I'm pretty sure they say, hey, find a quadratic regression for this data. Hey, find a cubic. They tell you which one to find. You got it? Does that make sense? But it is good to have that thought process, because this is what math is. Math is you collect data from a real world event. You make a noise randomly in the middle of a teacher talking. Then, see, that just threw me off. Then you try to get an equation that mirrors that data, and then you try to make a prediction of what might happen in the future. That's what statistics is actually all about. The whole field of stats is about trying to predict the future of any event, business, nature, whatever you're trying to apply. It's actually a mathematical structure that does exactly that. So that's why stats is really a cool class. But anyway, okay, so now you can answer these questions. We'll stick with quadratic. I don't even know if there's a rational. I don't know why they even put it. You don't even know about rationals. I don't think there's a rational regression on here. Logistic? No. That's a different kind of thing. That's weird. That's a weird thing to put on the sheet. So I'm just saying, I'm just, being with you guys here. So we're going to stick with quadratic, all right? Because that's probably what the other teachers did. I think you could pick, you can argue both, but just way off far into like the 7th decimal place, the R squared value was better for cubic. Okay, this is what I was saying now. Go ahead, someone in your group do 2, someone in your group do 3, because the data is annoying to plug in, and then someone in your group do 4. I don't know why I picked 4 though to do. I might in the video, I kind of like this one, so I might start doing this one. I like that one because this has got the better questions at the end. All right.
Can you make this scatter?
Oh my gosh, that Inspire.
Yeah,
Did you look it up on the? It's the worst. That's one of the worst things with an Inspire is that. Okay. Yeah, because that I don't want to make you not use that anymore, but for regressions, the table situation is really bad. I hate it. I hate the user interface. Is one of the things where okay, I could deal with the other stuff, but then when it came to that, I don't know. Some people, if I use that from day one, maybe I'd like it, but Yeah. Get a quarter. When I hear that jingle in the Darth Vader helmet, then you can have your calculator. What are you gonna do for the test on regressions? Are you gonna have an 84? 84? Okay. Uh-oh. Do you have $1? If you have 100, I have change. I give you $99.75. Or you can just give me $99 and then that's 3 more future rentals. I'll write that down in my nothing free in society in life. You don't have anything? Oh, go ahead and let's hear the jingle. It's not a nickel, is it? Some people try to do that. Let me test it. The nickels are getting the same size as well. She did that pretty quick. Was that a nickel? Sure.
Okay.
The nickels are getting close to the size of a quarter. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and type this data. I keep. No! Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry. See these two icons? This one and this one. This should have a picture of a calculator, but it doesn't. Why? Because technology stinks. It's getting worse and worse and worse as I get going in my even last hour, I had to find a student on Infinite Campus. Well, guess what? They upgraded Infinite Campus 2 weeks ago, which was a downgrade, and now it works differently. So in a school safety scenario, I could not find the name of a student in the class they were in because of that upgrade in Infinite Campus. Anyway, all right. I'm glad this is on the video. I'm glad because I'm very angry. Very. Okay, so stat, edit. All right. Oh, okay. I did do the delete thing with you guys. Didn't I show you delete? And then did I show you that or no? Am I freaking out? Watch up here. How do I get rid of it? Remember I did this yesterday? Oh no, what happened to L2? Didn't I do that to you yesterday? Right? Because actually what you're supposed to press, I should have told you this. I don't think I did, is clear enter. That's how you clear a list. Got it? Not deletes. So I did do that on the video yesterday. I'll show you how you can get that back. I can. I don't want to delete my memory. You know what happens when you go second mem 712? What happens to diagnostics? Didn't I do diagnostics on again with you guys? When I do second mem 712, it turns the diagnostics off again. So you got to go back in and turn them back on. Right? It's a default thing. But watch this. Delete. And then second L2, enter. It didn't even delete the list. It just hit it somewhere. So I have to clear and press enter. And then you'll probably never need L3 back, but I'll put L3. Whoops. No, I won't. Okay, quit. Stat, edit. I'm good. I don't need L3 in there. It's wasting time. Okay, so you guys do your thing. Don't listen to me anymore. I wasn't in the first place. That's what oh, I don't even know what I'm doing. Stat, edit. That's good. That's in the video. 10, enter. Now, number 2 literally says, doesn't it say 2 is quadratic and 3 is cubic, right? That's why I should have done 4, because 4 was a choice. You know what? I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do the choice thing again. They're just working in here anyway, so just fast forward the video if I'm annoying you. There are some absences. And if you're absent and you're not watching this video, you're a bum. You're a bum. Which this doesn't work because you're not watching the video. You didn't hear me say that about you. Right? Right. Okay. So I am going to do that one because it's a choice one again. Okay. So please, in context, know what I'm trying to tell you. Me showing you that R squared. Actually, Mrs. Gray asked, are you going to do the R squared thing? I go, yes. Because I do think it has value and meaning. And she is asking in a good way. I don't know if she is going to do it or not, but I want to do it. So I want you to know that it's a thing. Oh shoot! What's the new schedule? What time do we get out here? Do you remember? 25. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll hear a bell for the first lunch. If you really care, we had a little. Hey, if you were absent, you'll hear from your friends that we sadly had a lockdown. it was sort of for real, but we're all okay. So we're in a little different schedule right now. I will tell you this too, if anyone's listening, can do two things at once. In the other hour, I screwed up right here. There's 11:38 twice, anyone that's doing 4, and I only wrote it once. Here's a common error in this stuff. He's still fiddling with those papers. No, you just put that folder away. You're doing more with your folder than you are with this, good Lord. All right, but I only wrote it once, and then at the end, I knew I made a mistake because my data, there were more X's than Y's. Some people don't look at that. Try to do a regression equation, and your computer shuts down, or calculator. It says error. So I caught it because I double checked that I had the same amount of X's as I had Y's. Okay? 2438. I'm just worried about you over there because you got to make sure you're focused on what we're doing in the task at hand right here. Now it says, what type of model would be appropriate on mine? So if, anyone that's doing 4, you should be ahead of me. So you should be checking your models. All right, for video purposes though, yeah, I'm going to wait. I want you to do your 2 and your 3. Try to get those questions. 2, I think, has tougher questions, whoever picked 2. 2 has those nicer questions at the end. I guess I didn't run a bell on that. We're supposed to know. So great, and then 6 hours my free period. That's been shortened, so I get less free time. And then 7th hour being screwed up. Okay, so I'm just having the groups do 2 and 3 in their own, and then discuss with their groups. They're doing that perfectly. How do I do any of this?
No. I figured that out. Don't do anything.
Yeah, it should be answers.
Oh,
Oh yeah, just okay, I did it. Very nice. Determine the keyword regression model. I didn't write the model down. Should write the equation down.
Oh, yeah, that's
When it says write the model down, I will be honest. In AP, the rule seems to have been last year 3 decimal places, 1,000. So when you write this down, if this was one of your answers, you write negative 4.883 x squared. You go to 3 decimal places. You are supposed to be writing your models down and then share with your partners if you're doing that one and they're doing the other one. Okay?
Give me a straight line.
You did something wrong. You never changed. You didn't insert the new one. Oh, no, something's wrong. So that's you did something wrong on the data. No, the data's there. Redo your quadratic, because that should not happen.
You redid it like 3 times. Like with the when you go to populate.
No, don't do that. It's that calculate quadratic.
5, and then we put in the y1, and then we hit calculate, and then we went back to still the straight line.
Because negative 0.003 as an a value almost makes the x squared meaningless, right? So stat, I think I know it might be. You might have some old coordinates in there. Let's see. You sure?
I think so.
Let me see. 10 comma. And then what's the last one?
64.
The points definitely. Okay, where's your window? What's the x's? 10 to what?
The 40, or
What-
64.
What's the y's? Oh.
115.6.
Oh, well, you're 115 point, so 100 to what's the highest y value? The highest y value is 180?
Yeah.
So 200. Just want to see the picture. No, that can't be right. Okay, what number again?
That one, the bottom.
115. Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Should we like clear the data?
Oh, shoot. Second. I hate to have you do that. I'm just really curious. And we got the time. Is that the first L? Second. What am I doing? Second stat. That's 2 minutes. So this is L1, L2. Stat. Edit. 1 and 2. There has to be 1. Because now when I did that, okay, 10 to 80. Did something wrong. So 10 to 64. It's 10 to 80. What is going on? Now I only see all these 3 points. Blowing my mind here. 115, 220, 250, 280, 280, and 115. So 115 to 280. 115 to 280. Oh my gosh, I cut off. I put 200. Then 300. What is going on?
Should I just read, like, clear the.
Okay, stat, calculate. This is blowing my mind right now. No, I'm like, I refuse to agree with this.
Need this.
This is blowing my mind. Do a second do a memory wash because that I've never seen before. I can't. Okay, let me look at this. Is this the homework? No, this is the notes. Was this the first one? Oh no, you're doing 3. Okay. Use the equation to estimate when. Oh no. Use this equation to estimate how far Lewis is initially. Oh, so you plug in 0 and does it match that data point? Yeah, you plug in 0 and that's what you get. And then what you're going to find out is that's an error. That's your error for that little point. That's, you know what I mean? So you're supposed to get 1, but the equation gives you that. So that's the error in the equation. You might be off on every little perfect data point. So if you actually put 6 into your equation, you probably won't get 1.87. It's going to be a little bit off, you know. Another question. Huh? I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Tell me what happens on that one. I'm blown away by that. I really don't know how that's happening because you can see how the line doesn't come close to those. So I don't know why that's occurring. Okay, I think I have my data points in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing here. Clear. Who did 4? There'll only be groups of 3. Who did 4? Okay, thank you. Who did 4 over there? Anyone? Someone was supposed to do 2. Did anyone follow directions? Okay. Who did 4? He's doing it now. Oh, teaching in America. Stat edit. No, stat calculate. And then this is what it says here. Prepare a scatter plot of the data. Okay, I guess I'll do that. Let's do that first. Y equals cleared, plot on. But if I need to see my values, I got to get a valid window. So my x's go from 0. I like going a little bit more than 0 or a little bit farther than the parameters so I can see every point for sure. And I got to go to 100. But look, if you read this data in this, if you're listening, year 0 is 1889. Thank goodness this goes by tens. That's 1899. 1909, that's 100 years later, 1989. But then they asked me about 1999, which is year what? 110. So I want to put that in right now for that future question. If I don't have my window this far out, then calculating a value will not work. All right? And I just want to remind you of that, why I did that. If you're watching. And then 0, I guess, is fine. Actually, yeah, that's fine. We'll see the dot right in the corner. And then 2438. You know, I'm just going to go to 3,000 because I don't know what's going to happen in 1999. Hey, that's what your calculator, right? Anyway, enter, and then, by the way, my plots won't plot. I won't see points if the plot's not on. Graph. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Okay, so for the 4th one, this is what the other 2 teachers are doing. I'm saying this in a good way, like they may not be doing the R² value. So they're having their kids think about that, like what's going on with this picture? Is everyone okay out there? Did someone just fall? Okay, and it looks like there's a little bit of a wave kind of happening in there. All right, so watch what happens. I'm going to do my regressions. I don't know why I was going to go here. Is that linear? Do you think a line's going to be good? I don't think so. Do you think quadratic is good? Ugh. Okay, so it does ask, what does it say? Determine a linear regression find. Stat, calculate, my class knows, fumble, 8. I'm not going to store anything yet because I'm making conjectures here. All right, 0.93. I guess I could store it. Stat, calculate, reg 8, and then same thing that we just did on this video. I'm going to do the easy way first. Alpha y equals 1, because most people have those calculators. Calculate, and then I can graph and then see that line. That's what the r squared value is. The r squared value deviates from 1 when points the distance. That's what it calculates. That's what we would do to do the statistics. When the distance from the points are from the line, that's the regression equation, are farther away, then the r squared value moves away from 1. When the distances are really, really far away, then that number gets closer and closer to 0. All right? And I think that's something we should know. And someone that takes a stat class, you'll get to see what that equation is, and it's quite complicated. I couldn't teach it right now. I'd have to do a 30-minute refresh and how that even comes about. It's a strange one. A lot of things involved. Let's say. I think hopefully a stats person won't yell at me for saying these things. 5. Now I'm just going to calculate r squared values on quadratic. Wasn't that better? Okay, but then cubic, stat, calculate, cubic 6, enter, 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 enter. I think it's just a real intuitive. If you know this exists, that's pretty good. You know what we did then? And this is, whoops, stat, Pythons. I don't know what that even is. Quartic, did anyone see that? Anyway, I got snakes in my calculator. Oh, you see that? 0.99, right? So, and I'll show you why. Look at those numbers in there. So I'm going to hit that stat again, but then do what the worksheet says. Quartic 7. You know, why am I doing it again? I didn't store it. I want to see the graph. Fine, we'll do the other way. Vars, y vars 1, and I told last hour, meanly, don't come up to my desk and ask me how to find that y1 thing. I will tell you, write it down, type it in yourself. I don't answer questions on tests. This is your job. It's the time that you do it. All right, so y equals, now it's in there, and then there's the graph. See, look at that. We do have a little bit of a wave, and then look at the distances the points are from that curve. That's why we got a good 0.99. All right? Just, you should know that it exists and understand, and you guys can handle stuff, and yeah, I think it's a good thing. But now look at what it says. We didn't even do exponentials. You know, so I don't. This is a little out of sorts here. We'll do them later, and we'll do this again. But let's do an exponential reg. You just have to go down. It's at 0. Okay, exponential reg. You're going to find out. I am going to put that in here because it is asking you to use that one, and that's what we're really going to do. We're gonna tell you what regression we should do. Calculate. It's not bad. 0.987. It's not as good as the Quartic. Oh, so I do have it in there, and then you can see why it's not as good. You know, a couple of these points early are good, but then this is kind of like an outlier in that one. Whereas the Quartic one had a couple little waves that actually made it closer to the points. So we use that data, compare the two. The exponential's better because that's what they told me to do. What seems to be the best fit? We have to say exponential because they didn't ask about Quartic. We know what a Quartic is. That's just the next to the fourth. That's why we had those little waves in there, little points of inflection. Now the missing data, I have to use the exponential. This is why I went my window to 110, because for me to calculate, well, I don't think I showed you this yesterday. I did this differently. If I'm stuck in this menu and I calculate a value, the window has to incorporate that. I actually forgot in the video, we learned this last year as a new thing. I didn't know this existed on the calculator, that I could do y of 110, input, say it. That's just f of 110, but there's no f of it. There's a y1 equation. So I showed you that. So I'm enabling the people that didn't watch the video, which you infuriate me. Don't make excuses. That's why I'm like kind of short with some people. You're like, come on, we got to actually do stuff. It's really worse than AV. So a lot of people that are not doing their stuff and blah 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 blah. So they're their own worst enemies. All right, then I'll end the video with this. 2 had the most greatest questions, like after you got your equation, like to the nearest degree, what angle would correspond to 270? Let me take that. Let me make up a question for the calculator. This again is enabling the non-video watchers. Let's pretend they asked, okay, what is this? Coins. This is coins produced by a company over every 10-year period. So what if I asked how many coins would they have in 55 years? Like at that point, like, or, well, that would be F of 55. Here we go. When would you have about 1,000 coins? Let's just make up something. Well, that's input or output. What's 1,000 coins? Output. That's a Y value. So again, we're enabling the bums that don't watch videos. You put y2 equals 1,000, and you find what between these two? The intersection. So then second, calculate 5 intersect. Yeah, enter, enter, enter. You have to enter 3 times. Okay, so what's year 60? 60 years after 89, which is 1959. So this is 1961 at the end of this. I don't know. I'm just showing you something. All right, that's why it didn't work out because I made that up. That's what you do on this one. Y2 equals 270. And then what's between 100 and 180? What value is between 100 and 180? What's 140? So I just do the first base position. That's the feet. That's over here. So again, you put 140 in the Y2 screen and find the intersection. You're going to find 2 intersections. Now, how many people play baseball or ever have? Okay, that's because your angle could be like this, a low line drive that lands at 140, or a higher angle and then it hits, right? And you'll see that in the question, I believe. Okay, does that make sense? Anyone? Low line drive or a pop-up? Okay, so that's why you get 2 there. Left field fence is 280 feet. That's actually a short home plate. That's short. Right? So at what angle or angles to the nearest degree will the ball hit past the left field fence? That might have a couple different things. So what I have to do is put 280 on my calculator, and then it's all those values that are above that. So it's an interval, right? It's an interval that would occur in. So that's why I like the second one the best, because it does have a lot of good questions. So when you get that parabola and the intersection, it's all the numbers that are above that. So it's that x-axis interval. Anyway, so we got what we needed to do. All right, and there's our schedule for the day after our mishap here.